based on this story, and whatever the reasoning really is behind it, based on the Peacock deal for WWE Network, which has been such a big part of everything they've promoted for, almost 10 years now, I always said I would look for a stock buyback. But not seeing that yet. They have this guy, Nick Khan, there. He's a deal maker. Do you think that WWE is setting up for a potential sale right now?
I can't imagine it. Once Vince is gone, I can't imagine why they wouldn't.
What about before Vince is gone? That's the question.
Well, only if he's in a medically induced coma. Well, now that I think about that, if he could get some ridiculously astronomical amount of money, like $5 billion for the WWE from somebody, and use that as the crowning achievement of his life, or maybe it might have to be, how much was the UFC? How much did
I can look that up.
It might have to be $1 more than that. I don't know, because I mean, WCW never set any record with Ted Turner that would be anywhere close to that. So it would have to be the biggest combat sports sale in history, about at least $1. And maybe he would consider that his crowning achievement and sell it.
$4 billion.
Okay, then, yeah. Well, then maybe $4 billion in one, or maybe, like I said, $5 billion, just to have for round numbers. The only way that he would probably sell the company is if he could do some kind of record sale like that, and it'd be reported everywhere, and it would be what he got from his dad, and boom, here it was 40 years later, whatever. Otherwise, as soon as Vince is gone, especially if Triple H has set himself up where he's really the most integral component of keeping the wrestling business running, because I would think that at the higher levels, while they probably don't respect the individual wrestlers, we can get another one of those or another one of those, they would have to know that that guy at that level is integral in running a very specialized business endeavor, whatever they call it. So we got to keep him. Sell a fucking thing to NBC for $5 billion and he gets stock and a fucking executive job to let him not fuck it up too bad. How the fuck would you turn that down?
Yeah, I can see Triple H kind of being like Dana White, who stays around after the sale because they need someone to run it.
There you go. And everybody else cashes out and you never see their fat white asses again.
How long would that last? And who would be the Jack Petrick of NBC Comcast?
But you know what? Here's the thing. It's doable. It's doable because they did it with the UFC. You can actually buy something and keep the guy that either started it or popularized it or revolutionized it or whoever, a Dana White, around, and it can still run somewhat similarly and not run its fucking fans off. They do it in sports franchises all the time. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do run the fans off with a particular owner, but it's not common. It's just that every incidence of this in wrestling has been a disaster because the people that have gotten into it didn't respect not only the wrestling business for what it was, but didn't respect the people that knew how to do it. You know, Jim Herd came in and thought all the wrestling people were full of shit. Well, they may have been full of shit, but they knew more about the wrestling business than he did. That's indisputable. But you don't spend $5 billion on something and immediately go in and say, well, we know how to do this better. Even NBC, they would have to know that it's a specialized thing and they'd want the key people to still keep it running. It wasn't like when Turner bought the thing, is like, well, if they've been doing it, these wrestling people, well, we can do it so much better. Fuck you. So I don't think they would. I mean, look, it's not a goddamn, anything to write home about right now. How can they fuck wrestling up any more than it's been fucked up? And how can the WWE be any worse than it, because it hadn't ever been worse in its history than it is right now. So I don't think they could fuck it up too much worse as far as destroying the credibility of the business or not making stars or making everything be phony and all showbiz, what else are they going to do to it?
Well, you know, one thing, if WWE is in a position right now where they're not giving out promotions or raises, perhaps they need to save money. Perhaps they're worried about the future. Maybe they could save some money on what they're doing in the office with our good friends at NetSuite.
You know what? That's right, because whether it's the WWE generating hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue a year, or whether it's you, a sole business owner such as you are, Brian Last with Arcadian Vanguard, or I am with Cornette's Collectibles, or many of our listeners are out there with their various endeavors. If you're a business owner of any size, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough, but you might be making it harder on yourself than is necessary. Don't get bogged down with the QuickBooks and the spreadsheets and get all slowed down. Upgrade to NetSuite. As a matter of fact, Hotchkiss Featherbottom is buying me a NetSuite. Folks, you don't have to pay for multiple systems that don't give you the information that you need when you need it. You can ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software. You can upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. And I had an uncle that was in the cloud business, and it was an up and down business. One day feast, the next day famine. So you got to stay on top of things. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and everything you need all in one place instantaneously. 24,000 companies are using NetSuite right now, and you can be one of them, but not just a face in the crowd, a valued customer. You can let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com. That's NETSUITE, like a hotel suite, netsuite.com/JCE. Schedule your free product tour right now, netsuite.com/JCE. Did I mention it's netsuite.com/JCE? Save all kinds of time, money, and aggravation. I hate it when I don't have information on something that I'm talking about.